CCH Axcess Financial Prep is an innovative end-to-end cloud solution for preparing business tax returns quickly. It helps eliminate many of the tedious steps associated with assigning accounts to tax codes and groupings. It also allows you to interface with QuickBooks Online and Xero if your clients are using those general ledger products. We're going to walk you through an example of setting up an engagement and then also what it looks like going from the trial balance to the tax return and how easy it is. This is our home page. If I want to start a new engagement, I'll click here, Start New Engagement, brings this up. I put in my client information. So I can just type in the first part of my client's name, Bo Sports Supply, select that, put in my engagement name, I'll just call it 2020 tax return, and then select the entity type. Make sure the year-end date is correct, and then I'd hit create. Now in my case, this already exists, so I have one here. It is possible as well to copy an existing engagement. So if you have very similar entities and you want to use the same layout, work papers, journal entries, you can copy that. This is also where we see the information about rolling forward an engagement from one period to the next. So when we're getting ready to work on, say, the 2021 return, we can then roll that forward at that time. In our case, we're going to go ahead and open up this engagement, and we now have what's called engagement view, where we're kind of looking at things from a top down. We have work papers here. You can set up different folders. You could have multiple layers if you wanted. And I have a folder for tax return work papers where I have a booked tax reconciliation and a tax depreciation expense report. If I click on them, it will download them, and then I can work on them and then re-upload them. So you'll see an option on the right-hand side to upload. You can also tag the work papers. That way they're associated with particular items. So this first one I just have is tax general, but for my depreciation expense report, I have it tagged to depreciation, amortization, property, plant, and equipment, so on. And we'll see those tags again later as we get into the software. So you have your work papers. You can organize those how you like. There's no restriction on indexing. But to get trial balance information in, what we'll do is we're going to go take a look at the trial balance. In my case, I have a trial balance already imported, but if I was starting this from scratch, I would come over and click on this option, Import TB. And when you click on that, it brings you to this window where you choose how you're going to import your trial balance data. If you have the trial balance information in Excel, you can choose that option. If your client's using QuickBooks Online or Xero, you can click on those options and it will take you where you log in, and then you're able to pull the trial balance information directly into Financial Prep from those products. In our case, I'm going to go back to our trial balance. So once you've imported, it will look like this. You may have a few accounts that have not been assigned to a group. The system assigns accounts to groups based on machine learning. Machine learning takes the account name and uses it to group the account to the appropriate financial and tax grouping. So in my case, say for my tax grouping, I have a couple of items I would have to group, so I can group those, and then we come down and go from there. Now, once I've grouped my accounts, grouping an account, you simply click there, and the groups reflect your line items on the return. In my case, if this was grouping to line 1A, I could do that, or in this case, it's the balance sheet, so L1, and it goes to cash. Really easy to do that. You can also add subgroups if you need to break things out. And if you're dealing with rental properties, you can assign property numbers so that everything's flowing to the correct place on the return. We've got the trial balance in. Now we're going to go to this tax summary report. And the summary report shows us how we get from our current book balance, in this case, it has our final book balance, and I have my first prior period tax balance. And then I come over and see my tax journal entries for this period to get me to my tax balance. We also have a little link for my work papers. So this is where those tags come into play. I tag these as tax general, so they show up here. I can easily review the work papers from here, download them and look at them. I can also upload work papers if I need to. Now, as far as posting journal entries, you'll notice the journal entry option is on many of these different windows. So you can really post journal entries from any place. So I'll click on that. I've already taken the liberty of posting a couple of entries just to show you. I posted an adjusting entry to record some additional sales that came in, and then also to record our M1 adjustments for penalties and officers' life insurance. You can export a report that includes these entries if you have things you need to give back to the client for any reason. And then once I've posted my entries and I'm ready to send this to my tax return, the process is really simple. All I need to do is come over and click on the link function, and I'll just go ahead and click on link and send. When I do that, it tells me the tax trial balances have been linked to the return in Axcess Tax. So let's go to the return and see what we have. When you open a return you have linked from Financial Prep to the return, you'll see this window come up that says we've got Financial Prep data to import, and we can go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and take a look at page 1 of the return. So here we see this was initially a blank return. Now it's populated. You can see the various items where we have statements. Anywhere where we have subgroups, we can see a statement related to that line item on the return. If we go to our balance sheet, so here you can see that we have our balance sheet is in balance, and we can see our M1 down here. We have our adjustments that we made for insurance expense, for officers' life insurance, and for penalties. So this is a good example to show you how quickly we can go from our trial balance software in Financial Prep to the tax return, post journal entries if we need to, and once we've established this link, if any changes happen, we can simply send those, and that will go back to the return. So any further changes we make can be sent over pretty quickly and easily. So in summary, Axcess Financial Prep is a good tool for helping you quickly prepare your business tax returns and getting your trial balance information from the client into the tax return in just a matter of minutes.